Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another video. Thank you for clicking on. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, I want to talk about football again. I'm not going to make this a focus on football topic video and stuff like that. I am going to bring up kind of two things, really. Both of them have come out today on Wednesday, the 25th of August. And obviously, one I spoke about a couple of days ago, and one I've not really touched on and stuff like that. But it's sort of not a touchy subject, but it's definitely triggered a few people on Twitter and stuff like that. The first thing, most importantly, Harry Kane has committed his season future, at least, to Tottenham. Now, we knew this was going to happen. I said this a couple of days ago whenever I did the Harry Kane video. He was going to re-sign or stay with the club and everything. City were never in for him and stuff like that. I mean, we know he was there and stuff like that, but the simple matter of the fact is, and I said this in the video, if City truly wanted him, they would have stumped up the money and paid for him and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of BS on Twitter and stuff like that, and it's from the Sky Sports in the nose. And I tell you what, nothing seems better than watching Sky Sports have to put a breaking news thing up and say that he's staying at Tottenham. But quite literally, within 25 minutes of them posting that and them talking about it on the show, they were already talking about next season. It's like we've just started this season. That's how desperate Sky are for Tottenham to get rid of Harry Kane and for him to move on. And do you know what? The biggest, sweetest thing would be is if we won something this year and it wasn't aired on Sky, because that would really just absolutely fuck them over and stuff like that. Hell, somehow we win the fucking league and everything. It proper pisses them off. Do you know what I mean? But that's beside the point. The talk is saying that, you know, City never truly negotiated with Tottenham. And that's because the simple matter of the fact is there was no need to negotiate. Tottenham were very firm on their stance. They said, here's the price. Here's the asking price we want. There is no discussion. There is no negotiation. You give us the money. He's your player. And City did absolutely everything to not pay that figure. Now, that just proves to me that City don't rate him as highly as people think they do. If they truly wanted Harry Kane, they would have stumped up the 150 million to pay for him. Regardless of financial fair play, which at this point is a load of ludicrous bollocks, with other news that come out today, they would have just stumped up the money. Simple as that. The reason being that there is no resale value to Harry Kane. He's going to get a few years. He'd get 4 or 5 years there and stuff like that. He'd probably win endless trophies and stuff like that. But in my opinion, it's one of those things. It's like it's not an accomplishment winning a trophy with Man City. It's probably the easiest thing. Like, you just sign a contract with Man City, they'll give you a trophy there and then. You know, they don't buy the league. I hate that term. They buy the league, but they buy the best players and everything to make their team better. And then they just waltz everything. The only thing they haven't won is the Champions League because they bottle it every single year. But going back to the Harry Kane thing, he's literally come out. I don't think it's him. I think it's him via his new team that he's with and everything. He obviously come up recently that he sacked his brother as his agent and he's signed up to a new agency, apparently that partners with Gareth Southgate. And they were very unhappy at the way his image had been perceived in the press over the last couple of weeks and stuff like, you know, the not speaking about Tottenham, the non-posting, all this sort of stuff. So it started with the posts and everything about being in training, and then the Wolves game and stuff like that, where, you know, he got an absolutely rambunctious reception and stuff like that. The fans truly made him feel welcome. Wolves did their best to try and rile Tottenham fans up, and we literally just showed them up as a whole club. And, you know, he put 2 pictures up on his Instagram and everything saying, like, oh, hard-fought win. One was just a picture of him, I believe, like, on the ball, and the other one was him applauding the Tottenham fans who cheered him while he was there. And, you know, it's come out today that apparently that he's had talks with Nuno, he had talks with Fabio Paratici, and they were very, very positive, and the overwhelming response of the positivity that he's received over the last few weeks apparently has changed his opinion and stuff like that. And he said that this season, you know, he's with the club and everything, and he wants to win something. Now, look, it does look... we're 2 games in the season. I couldn't tell you anything. You know, tomorrow night we play Pacos de Ferreira. We have to win. And I do seriously think that Kane will play in that game, and I think he'll start. I think if you're a Tottenham manager right now, if you're a Tottenham fan, you just put your best team out for 45 minutes, put 4 or 5 goals past them like we did against Maccabi Haifa, and then you can put the kids on. Simple as that, and then we go again on Sunday against Watford at home. That's the way I would play it. And I think... Kane, if Kane plays 45 minutes against Pacos de Ferreira, scores 1 or 2 goals, then he can start on Sunday against Watford. Simple as that. And then we can put, hopefully, a few goals past them and properly kick on with the season and stuff like that. If he wins the Conference League and stuff like that, potentially wins 1 or 2 Golden Boots, and hell, maybe a League or an FA Cup. And I'd probably prefer the FA Cup rather than the League or Carabao Cup, whatever they want to call it, because it's more prestigious and stuff like that. And, the FA Cup has synonymous ties with Tottenham, and I think, that would be enough to sway him, I do think. We get a positive position in the league, an FA Cup win and a Conference League win. That would be enough to sway him to stay and everything, because he wants to achieve success at Tottenham. He doesn't want just personal success. He wants Tottenham's success as well. And that's all there is to it. He's a Tottenham player now. He will remain a Tottenham player for the rest of the season, no matter how much City want to chat BS, because at the end of the day, we know what's going to happen next season. They won't go for Harry Kane, regardless of what we win and stuff like that, whether we win anything or they don't, because they'll pick up Haaland next season. Simple as that. But that's another topic and everything. One topic I wasn't going to touch on, but I will touch on it real quickly now and everything, is that Madrid offered £137 million for Kylian Mbappe, and PSG said no. The reason they said no is because it doesn't meet their valuation. Fair enough. But Mbappe doesn't want to sign a new contract, and with you just signing the best player in the world in Messi, there's a reason he doesn't want to stay. Yes, Messi, Mbappe and Neymar is enough to make any defender cry in their sleep, but this is the Neymar effect all over again. Neymar wanted the spotlight at Barcelona. He knew he was never going to get it. So he moved to PSG. He might have won a few titles and stuff like that with them, but he's never done anything prestigious and stuff. They got into the final of a Champions League and stuff like that. Whoopee. Now the same thing is happening to Mbappe, and we all know he wants to sign for Real Madrid, and we know he's going to sign for Real Madrid eventually. I reckon if they go back in with a £145 million bid, then PSG will accept that. And if the ludicrousy continues that Ronaldo ends up at PSG, then the entire world can absolutely go F itself, because do you know what? Football would have ended at that point. FIFA would have become reality, and the president of the world would be Gianni Infantino, and we will all just have to bow down to him. And speaking of Gianni Infantino, if that's actually how you pronounce his name, I think it is, he apparently has sent a letter to Boris Johnson, to Bojo himself at number 10, to say that he should be talking to the clubs of the Premier League and urging them to release their players for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers around the world. Here's my 2 cents on this, and I put this on Twitter because it kind of did piss me off. I think the club has every right to turn down an approach from a nation for their players to represent them and stuff like that. At this moment in time, England has a lot of countries on the red list and stuff like that in regards to the COVID situation. Right now, the biggest losers, I believe, at the moment are Liverpool. Liverpool would lose Firmino, Fabinho, Salah and Alisson for, I think, a number of weeks while they play for their respective nations, as well as then they would lose them when they come back to having to quarantine. They risk losing their best players for upwards of a month. Now, a month in terms of football, yes, when the international scene is here and stuff like that, it's fine. There is no football and stuff like that. But coming back, that's 10 to 14 days they'd have to quarantine for, no matter if they post negative COVID tests and stuff like that. In those time and everything, Liverpool can go from being top of the league and they could drop to 10th. Without having their best players and stuff like that. And I do think this goes on to last season, where the club's sizes should be bigger, while this is still an impact on the country and on the entire world. But the fact that people say that, oh no, your nation should come first, no, it's not, because your nation doesn't pay you. A lot of countries don't pay their players and everything to call them up. It's a joy to just be selected and stuff like that by your nation, and I do truly get that. But I think the clubs that pay these players their wages have every right to refuse to send their players to a country and stuff like that is on a red list, especially at this moment in time. Because, with Brazil and stuff, I don't know who they've got. I could end up looking at it now, but I'm not going to bother. But if they've got to play the likes of Bolivia and Ecuador, what's the point in losing 4 or 5 of the best players in your club and everything? And then you look at other clubs like Man City, they'll lose Gabriel Jesus, they'll lose Ederson. Do you really want Zach Steffen debutising in goal for Man City? I know he's done all right, but I just feel it's wrong that, these have got to play, I call them meaningless World Cup qualifiers, and they are, because the countries they're going against are never going to play in a World Cup and stuff like Egypt and stuff. I'm pretty certain they've probably got Oman and bloody UAE. I know it's not UAE because they're hosting it, but they've got stuff. They've got teams like that. Like that's not a competition and stuff like that. What's Salah got to gain to going over there and stuff like that, playing for his country? Yeah, what? It's great to win another cap and score a few more goals and everything. But at the end of the day, Salah's main success is he wants to win stuff with Liverpool. He doesn't want to win stuff with Egypt because Egypt are never going to win anything. If he wanted to do that, he'd go play for an Egyptian team like Zamalek and win the Champions League and stuff like that. If he really wanted to do something to do with Egypt, I feel that the club should have more power over this saying. If the nation come to him and said, we want to select your player, okay, the club should have every right to say, no, we've got a busy period coming up and stuff like that. We don't want to lose our players and stuff like that. And the country has to accept that. If Southgate went around and said, oh yeah, I want this player, that player, and that player. Like say he wanted Harry Kane. Say he wanted Jamie Vardy out of bring out of retirement. Say he wants Trent Alexander-Arnold, and we've got to fly to a red list country and stuff like that. If I'm Santo and Brendan Rodgers, I'm saying, well, no, because they're more of an importance to us at the moment rather than you. England could literally bring up the Championship players and we'd still get through to the World Cup because the World Cup qualifiers are a joke in Europe. Simple as that. But I just think this whole mentality that your country should come first for you when you're coming to football and stuff is wrong. And I feel that Boris has to properly stand on his own right now and say, well, no, I'm not going to talk to them because the clubs have set out what they've told the world that they don't want to send their players because they don't want to risk losing them and stuff like that. Those games that they miss could be make or break. I know the season it goes for a number of months and stuff like that, but a few missed opportunities and stuff like that and your season is done. So personally, I feel that the club should have more say in international call-ups. A few people, actually quite a lot of people, when I put it on Twitter, agreed with me. And there's a few people that were very sort of anti, oh no, they've got to play for their country and stuff like that. Just no, but I would want to know what you guys think and stuff like that. Like, do you think the club should have more of a say when it comes to sending their players to, not with red list countries and everything, but just in general and stuff like that? Especially when they're being called up for international friendlies against, the back end of Papua New Guinea and stuff like that. Players don't need to play in that. That's just exhausting the players. That happened a lot last season when you had pointless friendlies and stuff like that. Like, in a season where the Premier League didn't start until September, October time, and they were still playing international friendlies. It was a joke. They need to find a way. There needs to be a balance in world football and everything between nations and clubs and stuff like that. And everyone just needs to come together and come to an agreement on this. But let me know what you guys think and stuff like that. Do you think clubs should have more of a say? Do you think it's down to the player, down to the nation, everything? Let me know and stuff like that. I'm going to leave it here. If you like the video and you want to see more football stuff and everything, drop a like and hit subscribe. Social media links, as always, are in the description. And as always, I will speak to you in the next video. Peace.